If you've been online at all in the last 24 hours, you've probably seen a dozen videos talking about the Infinity Stones coming to Magic the Gathering. We are all excited about this. However, I'm going to kick off a new segment called MJ's Variants, where I explain there are other cards in Magic the Gathering that do functionally the same thing. So stick around and see if you're running these cards already in your decks. First and foremost, the Soulstone is an indestructible mana rock for 1 and a black. It does add 1 black, so if you're looking for something to help with black pips, that does the job. But if you are looking for mana efficiency, make sure you're running Jet Medallion. You will get multiple instances of reducing by 1, thus being more mana efficient. Of course, if you're just looking for the best art, make sure you get this version of Jet Medallion. Additionally, in Final Fantasy, we got the Darkness Crystal, which also reduces black spells by 1 generic. But this has a couple of other abilities that are worth noting. First of all, it exiles your opponent's creatures, so nothing hits the graveyard. It exiles it under the Darkness Crystal, so instead of reanimating creatures from your graveyard like the Soulstone does, this actually lets you put creatures from your opponents. So if you're in a pot of 4, you get 3 opponents' worth of creatures under the Darkness Crystal, and you can repeatedly reanimate those creatures. Also, if you want some cool Infinity Stone type art, pick up this art of the Darkness Crystal. And while we're talking about art, this is my favorite art of the Soulstone. We do have a full art version, but just seeing Thanos on a Magic card with the Infinity Gauntlet, it's just, there's no reason not to be excited about this card. But let's talk about that final ability, how you can harness Soulstone. You can pay 6 and a black, tap it, exile a creature you control, and then you get the ability on every upkeep to return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. The last variant to talk about is Virtue of Persistence. So this is similar to the final mode of the Soulstone, where for 7 mana, you can reanimate a creature from your graveyard every upkeep. However, instead of an indestructible mana rock for 2 mana, you do get a removal spell. It is at sorcery speed, but for 1 and a black, you can give a creature -3/-3 and gain 2 life, which interaction creature removal is important in Commander, so you may want to just go ahead and run Virtue of Persistence. The other thing to note is you don't have to exile a creature to have this ability on the battlefield. Now, lastly, I will say there is no variant that does everything that the Soulstone does. It is a great card. It is very flavorful, especially if you're excited about Marvel. But if you want to get some of those other effects, go ahead and run those other cards, or you could just run all of those in your deck if you want. So that's it for the first version of MJ's Variants. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope to make this a recurring series just to talk about different Magic card options that you have. I love talking shop. I love talking building decks. Tell me in the comments what you think about these variants, and also hit me up in my DMs if you want to talk about deck building ideas.